G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. We are in the shed again this afternoon for another cracking episode. And look, the topic we're going to be going through today is something that I've been wanting to talk to you about for a very long time. But I've really only got our guest on today because of a few questions we've been asked over the last few months from some videos I put out on our socials. And today is going to be all about termites. And I think we've got the best man in the business here with us today. He's a good mate of mine, Alistair. So welcome, buddy.
Thanks, Dwayne. Good to be here.
So not only are we going to be talking about termites today, but we're going to be talking about shooting and hunting and all sorts of stuff because, mate, you do a lot of cool shit.
Well, you got to fill your day in, don't you? I don't go home and knock off. I go home and do stuff.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, mate. I love it. So I guess to give everyone a little bit of background before we dive into termites, how did you get into termites?
Oh, bit of a long story. I don't think anyone sits in high school looking out the window dreaming about being in pest control. It's just one of those things that happened. I was up here. We'd moved off a farm in Western Victoria, moved to Brisbane for bigger and better things, and I was just in between jobs, and a mate said, "Oh, can you give us a hand for a month or so? I'm a bit busy." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, right, yeah." And 14 years later, I'd said to him, like, "Mate, I can't keep doing this, so I'm going to go and work for someone else." So, yeah, that's how I sort of fell into the termite thing. Certainly, yeah, it wasn't a choice, from years back or anything. It just came along and I did it, yeah.
But you're, I've never met anyone with your knowledge of it. Like, you've definitely turned into an expert now. Like, you're an expert in pre-construction.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what expert. Yeah, I've been around long enough. I've seen most things that tend to go wrong. So I actually still enjoy it because, as opposed to being, a chippy on site or a plumber or a tradie of any sort, you're there all day and the clock's ticking and it's grinding away. Well, I'll do 5 jobs and they're all different, and whiz in, whiz out. Hopefully you can, wave a magic wand and go, here, it's easy and it's fixed and it's done and on to the next one.
Yeah.
So that's part of the attraction, isn't for me. It's also, I'm on my own. I'm here. I know what my schedule is for the day. And, generally I can slip another job in if I have to, or, it's up to me.
Yeah.
I manage my own day. It's good.
Yeah.
So.
And you're now, I've seen your passion over the last couple of years. Like, you're going to seminars. You're now getting other people from around the country fly down to you, and you're training them on your processes and what you do. So
yeah, it's been really good this last 18 months. I had a little change of employer, and they've just given me the keys and said go for it. So there is a national pest convention called Pesticon every year. So we were down at that in Adelaide, just bumped into some other guys who were interested in the same field in pre-construction termite control. And a couple of young guys came down from Mackay and they actually stayed at my house for a couple of nights, and I showed them around everything I could because our styles of construction are so different. They're all about, as they go further north to Bowen, they are a bit more cyclone rated, so it's blocks on slabs, and there's no big retaining walls. There's very few split levels and things that we like doing down here.
Yeah.
There's no raised Queenslanders and built in underneath. It's all slab, blocks, roof, and pretty, boringly straightforward as far as installing termite barriers in it.
Yeah.
But they had a meeting with a couple of Japanese guys who I also met down there. They came up and took us out for a coffee last week and wanted to know all about pre-construction. Well, I told them what I could tell them. Well, in Japan, they don't have that same issue. They spray a bit of chemical under the concrete before it's poured and hopefully never have an issue. Well, they wanted to move to Brisbane to start another company up here. So, I gave them the offer. If you want to come back, come and have a look at what I do. Yeah, you're welcome.
But I would imagine sooner or later over there, they're going to stop using chemical as well. And
you'd think it'd have to
catch up with everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that's, people don't know, I guess, the ins and outs of termites. Until I just started running into you on our job sites and asking more questions and your knowledge, but through my whole time in my early career, we would do the slab beds or stand up, whatever you want to call it, and then the guy would roll out a big hose, cover the whole thing with chemical, and then we'd come in, put the plastic over, and happy days. But little did we know we were sniffing and breathing and crawling on our hands and playing around with.
I think they stopped that because pretty much all those pest control guys died off of various cancers. So but the systems we have now are much better. But termites themselves, they're pretty cool little guys.
Yeah.
Like we could learn a lot from them, just their desire to create and continue their society. I think it's pretty cool. They're happy with what they've got. The workers are workers, the soldiers are soldiers, and the rest of the colony just continues to preserve and make the colony better and last forever. And that workers, I think, well, they live up to 2 years. They're deaf and blind, and they don't sleep. They just work. They don't sleep. They work 24 hours a day, and they just wander over there and feed, and come back here. A soldier says, feed me. They cough up a bit of food for the soldier. He eats it. Off they go and do it again and continue to work. That's what they do.
So is the worker and the soldier the same breed or what?
Oh, they're the same species, but they're a different class in the society.
Yeah.
So if they come under attack from anything, the soldiers have got to do their job, and you're outside, mate. You get stuck into the ants or whatever that's a threat. And do your thing. So and meanwhile the workers will be plugging up the tunnels so ants typically can't get into the colony.
Yeah.
And the soldiers are left on the outside. Well, thanks very much for coming, but that's the ultimate sacrifice. You're out. So it is pretty cool though. That's their job, that's their role, and they do it, and they do it well.
But the lengths they go to find food is unbelievable. Yeah,
it's incredible what they'll do. We have seen, I think, a house over at Jindalee was only 18 months old, a metre or so off the ground, and they'd built a perfect chimney straight up to one of the bearers underneath that they decided that was the spot we're going to eat. And so they did.
So how would they, from a metre down, how would they know that timber's up there?
Oh, they're pretty good sniffers. So there's scouts that go out first and find where the food source is. And, they leave feeding pheromones, and the rest will come in and go, right, how are we going to get up there? And for whatever reason, they'd built up, it was a good metre off the ground. Yeah. And they'd built this perfectly underneath.
So they form up mud and whatever, dirt and bits and pieces.
Yep.
And then travel through, because they don't like sunlight, do they?
No, they like their own humidity, so that typically they're sealed inside their own workings, and sunlight they're not big on at all. But I think there's 300 odd species of termites in Australia, and there's like 13 that'll do structural damage to our buildings. And of those, there's sort of 5 in Queensland and Southeast Queensland are the major ones that we see a lot of. Yeah, we've just come back from New Zealand. They don't have termites. It's funny. Yeah, like, how come they're here? They've been in one of the studies I read recently, Inverloch, just out of Melbourne in Gippsland. They found a petrified beach log and opened it up, and inside was a petrified termite nest. It was 125 million years old. So how come they're here in Australia and not in New Zealand? I don't know.
Do you still get them in cold climates?
Different species. There's a couple in Tasmania, but they're dampwood termites. They won't do structural damage. Yeah. Yeah, but the further, there's plenty in Melbourne, there's plenty in Adelaide, and plenty in WA. So yeah.
I think it's important to get this sort of information out there, because even, I was probably a bit naive about it as well. I didn't understand. I'd always heard that you put your collars on all your penetrations in your slab to stop termites. Yep. But I just think to myself, it gets surrounded with concrete. Where are they going to go?
Yeah, well, they are determined. Like, if you've got two slabs together, a cold joint in concrete, they will sacrifice part of the colony if they really, really want to get through there. They will nibble away at the concrete, and you go over there and die, and thanks for coming, you're dead too. But the rest of us got through, and the colony continued. That's how powerful that desire to survive is, that they will, if they really get the urge to get to that food source above that, some have to die to get there, they'll do it.
Yeah, and it's incredible how quickly they'll do it. like you know about it. So this wall behind us in the podcast here, like I thought, oh, it's in my shed. There's no timber in my shed. There's a couple of timber shells, but there's no timber in my shed. It's concrete slab. It's steel portal frame. It's all metal colorbond sheeting. And we knocked this wall up to give us a bit of a background to this podcast. It's untreated. It's all just leftover shit from some jobs. But down the end there behind Alistair, it actually runs over a coal joint where the previous owner of this property extended the shed. And I didn't even think twice about it. And it was only a matter of a couple of weeks later where I was down here just cleaning up some shit in the shed, and over this side of the wall, it's still here on the ground actually, I noticed this tiny little mud trail.
Yep.
And at the time, Shay had the filming gear and stuff stacked over here, and there was a couple of these weight bags. And I was like, what's that? And I kicked it, and there was termites inside it.
Yep.
And then I just followed them back, and like as it turns out, they've gone all the way around this wall and come up through that coal joint there.
Yep. That's what they do.
I'm like, far out. But they've made this mud, like it's probably 400 or 500 mil track over to where these weight bags were sitting. And and then it was starting to go, like they've gone out the other side of it a few inches. And obviously I've disturbed them.
Right.
You gave me that bait I put on there, and they've gone.
Yep.
But would they have been travelling, because then there's one of my old cars there, like, would they have been travelling in the dark under that car to find the next lot of timber?
Depends on the species. There's some that, one in particular, that don't really care for their mud tunnels, and they will just get out and go on the march and look for something else. But yeah, hard to say in here. Who knows? That might have been just looking for moisture. Maybe your shot bags had some sort of moisture in it. Yeah. But then if they were still connected with the soil down here, there should be a water source underground somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? They do the strangest things. They are not where you think they would be, and they turn up where they shouldn't. So yeah, that's just the way they roll.
Well, for me, it was like I did a video and I put on my socials. Like for me, it was good to see that, because I was like, holy shit, that's been like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. And they've, like, I haven't fixed it. Like they've literally eaten out most of the bottom plate, a few of the studs. Like, if you knock the sheet OSB off the end there, like in behind where the sheet's against the stud, there's tracks all the way up to the top. Like they've had a really good crack at it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what they do.
I like to look at that coal joint. Like it's not like it's open or there's a big gap there.
But they don't need very much. They, like a termite is, I don't know, less than a millimetre wide. So if you could pour water down there, they could probably get through it. So that they don't need very much access to have access.
Yeah.
So that's what the physical sheeting barrier is designed to do. Is it won't keep termites out of your house. They can certainly climb up the side of your slab and build a big mud pack out and around it and get into your house, but then it's a visual thing. You will see it. So what I do prevents concealed access by termites. So penetrations, cold joints, anywhere that's potentially concealed, that's what we try and stop.
Retaining walls, they got
block walls,
living space on the other side of them and stuff. And so what's the whole idea of we use the Kordon, like we've used that for a long time. It's got a chemical barrier still in it, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, there's sort of 3 layers to Kordon. I like Kordon because I've used it the longest. There's probably a dozen different products on the market now. Yeah. And I'm accredited in, quite a few of them. But Kordon's been around the longest. It's sort of the toughest. I like it. It's come back in its price point, so it is quite competitive with the others now. Yeah. It has a chemical in it called deltamethrin. It's actually an irritant to us, so if you get it in your eyes, it tends to burn like welder's flash, and 3 o'clock in the morning looking into the cold shower saying, just make it stop burning. And you only do that the once, you learn from that. It is, kills and repels, so they do detect it, and if they really get the urge to walk through it and try and get through a join where the Kordon is, where the deltamethrin is, they will die on contact. So, good product.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be completely wrong, but I started using it, that's because what was getting used a lot on the jobs that I had come from doing. And I know I'd always been told that Kordon was great because when you put it along your under your bottom plates of your walls, you could still do all your fixings through it.
Yep.
Whereas some of them are supposed to, like
Yeah.
all penetration is supposed to be parged. but
Exactly. And
it's
treated.
impossible.
And
Like once you've got a wall frame on there, like how do you?
I don't know what the answer is to that, and that's also why I like Kordon, because you can shoot through it. As long as it's a nice tight hole or a compression, a bolt with a washer on it, that's fine. Yeah. Whereas some of the others, you must have a seal around everything, and it's just, come on, it's not practical and can't work. So
Yeah, not naming names, but there's another, like I know of one very common one that gets used, and it's impossible. Like how can you, like you have to treat any penetration through it.
Yep.
But once you've laid your plate, you've drilled your tie down bolts, even if you've just shot your ramset gun through it.
Well, there's a frame on top of it. You can't get into it. So you can't.
And so I assume if they were somehow to get in there, they're going to come straight through that hole.
Yeah, and I sort of doubt it if there's, a nail going through it. The bonus with Kordon is there's 3 layers to it. There's a plastic moisture barrier on one side. There's a perforated plastic on the other side, which is the black side. And in between is like a geofabric, and that contains the chemical. Now, that fabric is fibrous, and it expands and contracts even as you're drilling. It'll bind on your drill occasionally, and it seems to cover itself up. So whereas the others that are just a plain sheet, if it tears, you've got a spot that's potentially... can be a termite ingress point, yes. Yeah.
I know a lot of builders out there, and I had probably 2 of them comment on one of the videos I did recently with, we got you out because, we did the slab edge with the walls going on, and then we butted a patio slab in. We got you to do the cold joint, and then the client wants us to tile the 75 mil edge. So
that changes everything.
We're losing our visual there, so I got you out to paint it, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a minute, but I did a video about that, and 2 blokes said, why are you bothering? You're wasting your time, wasting your money. It's visual barrier. I'm like, well, it's not visual once we put a tile there.
No, it is not. And generally, there's always something that'll be stacked in front of it too. A garden shed will go in, or something will go in. Even when you've got your nice 75 mil exposed, or 30, or whatever it might be, depending on what product you're using, that slab edge exposure, which creates a visual barrier, who knows down the track, someone will come in and put in a 30 mil paver or some big fat thing will go in there, and all of a sudden we've got nothing. So even for your average termite inspector to come around every 12 months and go, no visual inspection, he's not going to take any responsibility for it. And, termites got in. It's like, well, we just kind of told you this was going to happen. But if you do the installation at the very start, you can only do it once, and that's, before your frame goes on your slab.
Yeah.
Well, then it's there. At least it will help with that preventing concealed access. So they will have to build out and around. Yeah. So that's certain things you don't have to do. You don't have to double up. But I sell the product, so I should be saying absolutely you've got to put it in.
Oh, mate, as you know, we get you back to look at anything we're unsure of or whatever, and
I'm happy to. I mean, I'd rather. Now that I'm at this stage of my, career, I'm happy to talk to anyone. Like if you've got a genuine issue or concern, if I can come out and give you a hand, absolutely, I'll do it. Happy to.
Just seeing how quickly they've got into this stuff here, and then you talking about that house, a metre off the ground, and within 18 months they've got there, 75 mil, that's all based on 75 mil, thinking that the homeowner is going to do enough visual inspections over time to catch them before they get past that 75 mil.
Yeah. It's with an annual inspection. So if we came through and did an inspection in January and went, we've had a good look around, we really like your exposed slab edge everywhere, can't see anything. Meanwhile, there's a colonizing flight next week, a new colony set up right there, and all of a sudden there's mud tunnels coming up. No one's had a look until next January when your annual inspection is due. Yeah, well, there's going to be a bit of damage in between now and then. So, it is important to be aware as a homeowner. Yeah. And we can recommend that you inspect more than, once a year. You can do 3 monthly if you want.
Yeah. Part of our handover process is we like two things. Like I spend a lot of time, like when we hand over houses, it generally takes about 3 hours for me just to run through all the documents and warranties and bits and pieces, or my expectations of what the client does with that sort of stuff. But I physically walk them around the house. So we've got all your paperwork you send through, but and then we've added some of that to our handover document. But I walk them around the house, especially if it's got an undercroft or something like that, and I explain them, like, look, even though this is off the ground, like, you need to be sticking your head under here with a torch once every 4 to 8 weeks and like checking things, because like they can move quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One for you, Dwayne, we did years ago, we did a house for a guy. I think he was obviously a builder, but he did a lot of civil construction as well. So he's built this house over in the other side of Brisbane. 2-story, but the bottom half had a 3 metre block retaining wall, all backfilled, and then the top went out and up further for the second floor. He had it to the point where kitchen cupboards were in, the bench tops were not on, the doors were hung, and he went out west somewhere building bridges for nearly 5 years. Came back, now there was an unused pack of pine on the floor in the garage that you could poke your hand through the whole thing. It was completely destroyed. Yeah. The trusses were gone, the benches were gone, you couldn't walk on the second floor. Like, the whole thing was destroyed.
So, because he hadn't put anything in?
He'd done nothing in almost 5 years. Yeah. Yeah, been away, working, too busy.
He'd done some sort of termite perimeter or something?
Hadn't done very much at all, no. But they had absolutely destroyed this house, which was almost completed. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Incredible.
The worst one, I was just talking about it before, like the worst one I ever saw, and it's another reason why we go overboard, I think, with it, but we were building a house for a client, and his parents were retiring, and he said, would you mind having a look at they've got a rental property that they're going to move into now. They've had a building and pest done by the real estate, and they've said they found some termites under the bathtub.
No.
And so I'm like, oh yeah, no worries. Like we can do a quick bathroom reno or whatever. Mate, that turned into 3/4 of the house rebuild.
Yeah, right.
And I felt so bad for they were in their late 70s, like they were planning on retiring.
Yep.
And it basically ended up using a lot of their retirement funds to build their house.
Yep.
But the termites had come up through the penetration under the bath, obviously chasing the moisture or whatever. But the guy that had found the termites, they were still alive when he found them. And they thought it was just going to be that room. And I've always thought about it and thought far out, like they were really lucky, like no one got hurt. Like it was a tiled roof house. Oh. And mate, we just kept chasing it, and it just kept going room to room to room. And there was external walls that had next to no timber left in them. And the whole cavity from the back of the plasterboard, it was a brick veneer house. And in some cavities, the mud was that thick that it had pushed the building paper off the studs, and it was from the studs all the way out to the brickwork.
Wow.
And it was literally just mud.
They'd had the building and pest done before purchase?
Yeah, they'd had shit done. Like they'd had tenants in the house for, I think, 15 years or something.
Oh, rightio. Yeah.
So it was a rental they owned, and their plan was always to move to that area and retire.
Got it. I see. Yep.
Yeah, the tenants had moved out, and part of the moving out process was getting a building and pest and making sure the tenants had looked after the house and stuff. But it was like seeing how much such a small animal can do. Like that was absolutely. A 3-bedroom house, and we pretty much, there was one living room, half the garage, and I think the front entry hallway that we didn't touch. Like the rest of the house was destroyed.
Most of the species that we deal with are super clever. They will consume from the inside out. So there'll be a veneer of paint left, and you put your finger through it, or your vacuum cleaner, or a broom, or a chair, or anything. Skirting boards are super popular. Even in structural timbers, they'll eat from the inside out, but as soon as that gets to a point where it's going to collapse, we'll stop here and we'll go up a bit further or over a bit further.
So they can sense that
they know where it's at. Yeah. They're super good. The more you get into them, the more nerdy you become, and really appreciate what they do.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
For the cost that it costs to do all your pre-construction stuff.
Yep.
Like to fingers crossed, avoid all that headache down the road. And
Yep.
like we use the termite treated framing as well. I'm not sure how that really works. Like I don't know.
It all helps. So like anything above, most of my stuff is at ground level. So anything above there that's extra, I'm all for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it
Have
in
you
there.
ever seen termite treated framing that has had the termites had a go at it?
No. Oh, I've seen them where they've mudded along it. But even when the ends have been cut and potentially they can get into that cut area, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Not saying it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen it. But termites don't eat hardwood. Yes, they do. Termites don't eat cypress. I've seen them have a nibble, and move on to something else that was more palatable. So, yeah, they're tenacious. So, yeah, to think that they wouldn't have a crack at termite-treated pine,
Yeah.
when the treatment only goes in 0.5 mil or something, they would.
It's surprising me where they are because like there's certain. It's something that I feel people like you expect to see something like a termite mound like you see out west and stuff. But like I know a lot of the sites that we have throughout Brisbane, it's not like we just use a shitty old 2.5 for our profiling and stuff, and like that stuff. Sometimes like you'll be walking around picking shit up, putting it in the bin, and like you'll pick up a piece of that, and the underside of it's just completely gone. It's only been on the ground for a month.
The mounds that you see that are above ground, there's a couple of species that we have that will nest in a tree or on a fence post or just make a big ball at ground level. They're the ones that do sort of minimal damage to houses. It's the ones that you can't see. They're the ones that we try and prevent.
All right.
So they'll be mounding at ground level and not obvious. And not often you find those nests.
Yeah.
But the other guys are pretty obvious. They're pretty easy to get rid of. If it was close to your house, we'd suggest you get rid of it. Or if they're chewing your fences down, we can treat that. But the ones that you can't see, they're the ones that do the damage, which makes perfect sense.
Can termites only enter your property through the ground, or can they come in leaves and?
Look, we're dealing with subterranean termites, so typically they travel in the top 300 mil of the soil. If they hit a retaining wall or something and they decide, gee, there's some good down there, they'll certainly, burrow down as far as they want. They do a colonising flight when the teenagers want to leave home. They grow wings. They get one colonising flight.
Yeah.
Those guys get eyes so they can see.
What?
Yeah. And they'll get one flight. And typically on a good thundery evening, when it's hot, it's humid, they'll just swarm. And I've seen them leaving a nest, whether it's in a hollow trunk of a tree or whatever, and they just take off like an Air Force, and off they go, do their thing. They're not good at flying. They're the ones you'll see, they'll be attracted to lights on in your house. They'll be all along your window sills or, sometimes get in your house. If they're in your house, typically they'll die. They need food, water and shelter. If they're inside your house, they've got a ton of food, they've got no shelter and they've got no water. If they're in the nice, fresh mulch outside your house in the garden that's got an automatic watering system in, they've got food, they've got water, they've got shelter, they can live there. So a king and a queen, they'll, start from Adam and Eve basically and start from scratch, and they can potentially form a colony. And that's how they travel. That's how they, colonise an area or a country. All
right, guys, I want to introduce you to a really exciting new product that I believe is going to play a massive role in Australia building healthier homes. As you all know, I am extremely passionate about healthy homes, and I'm doing a lot of research and putting a lot of time and effort into making sure my construction business is leading the way when it comes to building healthy homes here in Australia. We've teamed up with the guys from Highwood Timber. Highwood Timber are pioneering condensation management with their high-flow ventilated LVL batten system. High-flow battens give builders a stronger, straighter and smarter way to create a ventilated cavity behind cladding and underneath roofs without compromising on structural performance. While tackling condensation to improve building health and ease of installation, Highwood battens are built to perform. When it comes to dealing with condensation and ventilation, high-flow battens will help you create continuous ventilated cavities behind all your cladding and underneath your roof sheeting. They reduce condensation risk and support healthier, longer-lasting buildings. Highwood timber battens are also in alignment with the proposed NCC condensation management requirements, as well as passive house ventilation requirements. Being an engineered LVL product, they are stronger, straighter, and more dimensionally stable than a solid material such as pine. This helps resist warping, twisting, and shrinkage, ensuring more consistent installs, less prone to splitting than solid timber. Highwood timber battens are precisely manufactured, meaning that your installation will be faster and easier than other products on the market. The part that I like the most about these battens are they are H3 treated for long-term protection against decay and termites. They use a waterborne H3 treatment which reduces reactivity with membranes and adhesives when compared to LOSP. These are the exact battens that you want to be using on your homes and your builds if you are considering building healthier homes or passive homes. Check them out, Highwood Timber Products. So how do they get, like, they don't all of a sudden get eyes? Like
well, they're the different classes. So it's reproductives, so reproductives, workers, soldiers, basically. There's, part of the working force is to tend the nursery, because the queen is just flat out laying eggs. She doesn't move. She just lays eggs, pumps out like 1,000 a day or something, and X amount of midwives are in there looking after these eggs, doing things with them, and
so they're a whole their setup is incredible.
The classes in the colony are incredible. Yep. And the junior reproductives, most of them leave, but some will be queens in waiting. So if the queen gets sick or old or bored or whatever, or goes on strike, you're out, get a new one in, and she'll start laying eggs.
Jeez, I think it's incredible how scientists or whoever study this stuff and figure it out. But what an unbelievable, strong community. And I guess it's one that we shouldn't be avoiding.
I still think we could learn a lot from it. Just we don't need the structured classes like that, but be happy with what you've got. I mean, it's nice to strive and be better, but you don't kill yourself doing it. It's look after your family.
So mate, it's not only termites that you help control. You do feral pest control as well.
Yeah.
Alastair, just a quick story about Alastair. So Alastair and I are good mates. We do a few things together, and Alastair and his wife help us out with the horses. So I guess for those of you that listen to the podcast for a long time, Alastair's wife is Helen, the leadership, who has written the book Leadership for the Everyday Leader, Leadership EQ. And I met Alastair's wife through Alastair because he's done our work for such a long time. But anyway, we did a trip up to our farm, I don't know, it's probably over a year ago now, and there was meant to be, I can't remember, there was 4 or 5 of us meant to be going, and 3 pulled out. And so it was only myself, Alistair, and another old bloke, one of our neighbours. And I said to Alistair, hey, it's fine, there's plenty of room, just jump in with me. And Alistair, no, it's all good, I'll drive myself. And we turned up to the farm, and I figured out why he wanted to drive by himself, because he opened up his ute, and the back seat, I think, had 16 rifles in it.
Well, might have been 3.
It was a lot.
No, that was good. That was good fun.
So, Alistair, tell us about that, because I find that really interesting as well, because you only live 10, 15 minutes from us, but you're out in acreage, more bushland than where we are here, and you expect there to be more wildlife out there, but you also do hunting. Like where I live, where we're like this shed, as the crow flies, we'd only be 3 kilometres, I think, from one of Southeast Queensland's big industrial estates.
Yep.
And you do a lot of hunting in around there, around housing.
Through that big industrial estate, there's quite a large river that runs right up to the side of the mountains here behind us, and all the way along there, feral deer wander along and drink the water and eat the grass and never get hunted. And just so happens have access to a few properties that are big enough and safe enough for me to chase a few deer on. It's great, because 20 minutes from home, and I can slip out there and probably, 6 days a week and go and knock over a deer if I want to. So as far as, hunting in Southeast Queensland, they're there. I know other people do it, but it's very tight. It's very risky. As far as property size, well, I'm not shooting in someone's backyard. It's always acreage, but you just have to be very, very aware of where you're pointing the thing and where your bullet's going to end up. And
it blows my mind, mate, that they're even there. Like so you get called out by people with horses and other animals where deer. Like I'd never knew that deer would have a crack at a horse.
Well, deer, like horses, they'll stand their ground and try and eat the food, but deer are so used to it that they'll see that they've been fed and then hop over the fence. Then they want to eat the horse food. So that's where it first started. The lady had a nice Arabian stallion that got scraped by a deer and a lot of blood came out, and the deer are all of a sudden public enemy number one, where it's the 20 minutes before they'd been these cute little brown things over there. Well, now you try and kill the horse, it's on.
Yeah.
So we had a nice drought master bull on another place that was all scraped one morning, and the farmer there said, come over and shoot every deer you can see. I'm like, geez, that's a bit wasteful, isn't it? We'll just shoot the ones with the horns or something.
Yeah.
But, we're pretty lucky. We eat a lot of deer, shoot plenty, and, part of the whole deer thing, it's not just around here. I'm out in Brisbane Valley, Stanthorpe, the other side of Caboolture, Peachester.
And you do a lot of that for, you do feral pest control for some companies, don't you? Like, it's not just deer, you do pigs and...
Yeah, anything feral. Yeah, I'm happy to. I only do it on a voluntary basis. There's no contract shooting or anything. Certainly don't get paid for it, but I don't mind. It's spending time. Generally, I'm on my own. A lot of the time, I'm on my own. But I'm out in the late afternoon, evening, and just, you'll sit on the ground under a tree or something. I've slept under trees. But, you get a whole new awareness of what's on out in the dark when you're by yourself, because your hearing improves like 1,000% instead of relying on someone else to go, did you hear that? No, I didn't hear anything. You're on your own. You go, gee, what was that?
Yeah.
You get a lot better at being on your own and calm under pressure, I think.
Yeah.
If I see a car coming that shouldn't be coming, it's like, oh, well, down tools, unload everything, get the torch on and go, who is this and what is it? And the few times it's happened, it's been the property owner or somebody who's come in and said, are you all right? We haven't heard anything. I was like,
well, that's how you shoot things, is you got to be quiet.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
But feral pests are a big problem, aren't they? Like,
absolutely.
Especially pigs and stuff. Like
pigs are hard. There's, especially this last couple of years, have been two really good wet seasons and wet winters in Queensland and New South Wales as well. A lot of flooding going on. Pigs have loved it. Their numbers have really, really multiplied. And for shooters to go out and make a huge difference, it's going to be hard because unless you're shooting more than 75% of the population, you're not going to drop the numbers. They can breed that quick. And if you see a mob of 30 pigs, you've got to shoot a lot of them to make 75%.
Yeah.
And my gun only holds 5 rounds, so if I'm really lucky, I can shoot 5 out of 30. Or, you're not winning. So, there is a lot of coordinated control where there's baiting, trapping, heli shooting, and occasionally someone like me will come along and, we can be quite effective at certain times. Deer, probably the same. But, deer, the wild dog problem has been an eye-opener. That's where we did a lot of night shooting with thermal scopes and stuff. Not far from home, Brisbane Valley. And, that's where we were doing the big nights, big hours, and just sit and wait. And we were calling, and different times of the year they'd answer. And, when they start to come in, and you've got 6 or 7 dogs all howling and they're all excited and they want to meet this new guy on the block, and 2 of us will be down here going, holy hell, we've got a pack of dogs coming for us. What do we do? You know, how to go about getting the best outcome that you possibly can. It's certainly been, it's rewarding. You know, I enjoy it. I enjoy it when I don't see anything. I'm out on my own. I see satellites go by and think, yeah, this is great.
The dogs get pretty out of control, don't they? Like they turn into pretty ferocious bloody things.
They can do. There's a couple of places I shoot on that don't have a problem with dogs. They are a benefit. They keep the kangaroo numbers down. If it wasn't for the dogs, they'd have, you know, an excess amount of wallabies. So if you see something that's aggressive, shoot it by all means. If you don't, you know, they're not a problem. So don't target them specifically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I also enjoy the interaction with farmers and landowners. You know, being a bit of a country kid at heart, I suppose it's. It's. I enjoy their lifestyle, and I can sort of live vicariously through their stories. It's great.
There must be a lot to be said for it, mate, because I feel you're living an incredible life. Like you, when you consider like how early you get up to do the hours you do with the pest control, and then you'll quite often go home and gun up and go out hunting. Like I don't think there's a lot of sleep going on.
I have done quite a few big nights, but that's sort of eased off a bit now. I think I don't know, like a fine red wine, matured with age, I suppose. But yeah.
But is that's your chill out, like just getting out in nature and doing a bit of hunting?
Bit of hunting, bit of fishing, bit of just being out there. You know, being out in the mountains somewhere. I love it. Yeah, a bit of fresh air and birds and. Not interaction with nature, but just being aware of your surroundings. You know, you'll hear something, birds go off for some reason. You look over, what's going on over there? There must be something to make them all go crazy. Or this tree's got a lot of flowers on it at this time of year. Well, I think we've spoken about it. You know, the old guys say that a heap of flowers on the mango tree is going to be a wet summer, and
emus have lots of babies. It's going to rain. Yeah. But we were just talking about, Shane and I were talking about this earlier, I feel as humans we've lost a lot of our natural instincts. Yeah. Because we don't have to hunt.
Don't have to. No.
Like you're just calling the shots away from work, whatever, you buy your food, a lot of people these days don't even cook their food, but like, there's no awareness there around not only where the food comes from, but what happens in Mother Nature. Yeah. Like most people these days couldn't even tell you what time of the year a mango tree has mangoes or what time should you grow carrots. Like no one knows because it all just comes out of packets.
In the middle of winter, mangoes are hard to get and they're bloody expensive. So, that's exactly right. But, we've got the little veggie garden at home for 7 months of the year while it's cool enough to grow, because here in sunny Queensland they burn off a bit through summer. But it's wonderful having your own produce. If I can shoot something, bring it home and, turn it into a fine, presentable meat instead of something that's dead. And we've also got some veggies on the go with it, or, a bit of salad or something that's grown at home. It's wonderful. It's really rewarding, yeah.
Well, I think there's something to be said for it, because like you and Helen are both looking pretty sharp for your age. Like you're living well and eating well, like fresh meat.
Could lose a few kilos, Dwayne. It has been pointed out to me. But no, it's good,
mate. So back to the termites. How can people anyone listening, I guess, find out more? But I guess in Southeast Queensland, how they find you, how they reach out to you,
I work for a company and I generally try and promote myself, but I work for Allure Pest Solutions and we've got a website. It's pretty well marketed. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. I've got business cards and phone numbers and all sorts of things, but
no, if someone reaches out to me, I'll let you know.
Absolutely,
I can pass
no worries.
Details.
Yep, that'd be great.
So if you what Alistair's been talking about today has sparked an interest or curiosity or whatever, then don't hesitate to send us a message, an email, or reach out to me on social media, and that I'll definitely pass it on to Alistair and he'll get back to you. But Yeah, I wanted to get you on, mate, because I just feel like termites are this thing it's like out of sight, out of mind. People don't really take it seriously enough, and
Very true. New build, luckily, or an extension or a renovation, there has to be some sort of termite control. But funnily enough, with a little bathroom renovation, if you're on a concrete slab and you've cut through that concrete to run some new pipes through, I've got to come along and treat the slab edge and treat the new penetrations. That's great. Here's your Form 43 that we hand out. Cool. But I've probably protected 1% of your entire house. So you've got to have a look at the whole picture. Is the rest of the place up to speed? Because you have to do this bit for your council approval at the end.
Yeah.
But what about the rest of the place? Why did you renovate one room when potentially you've got live termites over there? So, yeah, you've got to be sensible about it.
Oh, mate, I have to bite my tongue a lot on social media. I'm definitely glad I don't get on there and look at a lot of shit now. But there used to be this one guy that popped up all the time that just did, and he's not far from here, just did bathroom renos.
Oh, yeah.
And he would be posting shit all the time about cutting holes in bathrooms, rejigging the plumbing, and he'd be talking about what he's done, and there was nothing.
Oh, really?
Like, there was nothing. Well, in the videos anyway, you couldn't see any.
Well, that's fine if you're not going through council and potentially you've got a perimeter treatment or a baiting program or something going on which would cover it. But as soon as it's
But if you're cutting Alistair a slab and not putting anything back around that cold joint, like,
you're mad.
Yeah, just crazy.
Yeah.
And especially if it's under a bath.
Oh, yeah.
Or under where they're putting in a new shower or something, like somewhere that's going to have moisture.
Yeah. Oh, look, do everything you can. Yeah.
Because is that, like, from what I've picked up today and the little bit of knowledge I had, like, they're looking for food and moisture.
Yep. Food, shelter, water. That's pretty basic, pretty simple. And like I said, if they're inside your house, they've got a ton of food, but they've got no shelter. They may have water, but they've got no shelter. They will die. And we get calls at this time of year from here through till, February, colonizing flight. Oh, I think I've got termites in my kitchen. They're on the kitchen window. Oh, yeah, they moving? No, they're dead. Have they got wings? Some have. Well, it's a colonizing flight. Don't stress.
Yeah.
And we can come out and, the company will come out and do a termite inspection and go, we can't see anything live and active.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have dead ones, and that's the deal. They didn't have shelter. They can't survive.
Yeah.
So, but at least get an annual termite inspection. That's the rule, yeah.
So, and then just, I guess, start wrapping it up. So basically all over Australia, you need to be thinking about this.
Tasmania will let you off the hook, but the rest of the country, yes.
Yeah. So Tasmania doesn't need to, they haven't got any down there that will eat your house.
They've got dampwood termites. I think that's about the best that they can survive down there.
Yeah.
The rest are anywhere. Oh, there's termites everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say they need moisture, but there's plenty in Perth that, they seem to survive everywhere. So, yeah.
So, guys, look, if it's not something you're thinking about or taking seriously, I wouldn't be relying on your visual barriers everywhere. Like, you need to be doing something.
New home, Dwayne, get as much protection as you can. The percentage of, cost for full termite protection at a new home stage is minimal in the cost of the build.
Yeah.
It really is. So, consider it, absolutely.
Mate, well, look, I really appreciate your time coming on. I think you're a very humble character, mate. It's there's a lot more we could have talked about with your horses and things, but yeah, look, like I said, guys, if you've got any questions, you want to know more, happy to pass on your details to Alistair, or reach out. We'll put some links on the podcast to where Alistair works. But as always, make sure you go to the DwaynePearce.com website, get your merch so we can help create a new building industry. Like, subscribe, share, all those types of things, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.